We're still good. You want me to wait till you get into it?
Oh, I was waiting for the email, but I don't know if I even have. Well,
It's set up that way. Just go ahead and go straight to the stream.
Right? Well, I wanted to click through. That's why. See if I get a metrics on that.
Sometimes laziness takes longer.
It's not coming through, so all right. Oh, that might be. Well, yeah, we'll just go with the stream.
Ooh, that was a good slurp. You let me know when we're into it and I'll roll the intro.
Yeah. I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
Is the title updated on it?
Yes.
All right, let's roll the intro.
I've seen too many deaths.
Maybe he died, maybe he didn't. Maybe I laughed, maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I did laugh.
Okay.
So, but that's still not really.
We rolled the intro, but there's no sound.
Yeah. Seems like it's kind of frozen.
That's right. I don't know why.
Your laptop smoking?
It is not.
Remember, I've seen too many deaths.
Maybe he died, maybe he didn't. Maybe I laughed. Maybe
You
I
know what
didn't.
it is?
I did
Well,
laugh.
Okay.
So, but
I don't know
that's
what it
still
is.
not
Are we coming through sound on that?
Oh, I don't have sound on.
Let me turn it on real quick. Because that would be bad if our voices aren't coming through. Well, I apologize to the audience, so the intro ran. I don't know why I don't hear it. So we will just go straight to live. So, some technical difficulties, but this is the Zero Intentions Podcast. I'm Kyle, here with Jeremiah, as always. And I guess I'll start us off with something that I was watching on YouTube right before you got here about traffic cameras, and specifically in the state of Florida, which you did live in. So they were talking about how should they be allowed and where the money goes. And apparently in Florida, they're getting a ton of money, and it's just going back into their fund. And they've been sued a couple times because how it works is when the camera is installed, it's paid for by a third-party company. They pay them per month or per ticket. Actually, it's per ticket. The camera gets alerted, when the light changes. It senses motion, it records a video or snaps a picture, gets sent to the company. They review it. If they think it's illegal, they send it to the police, and then they have the final say. And then the ticket comes to you. And a few arguments have been, one, if you live in the nice United States of America, you have the right to face your accuser in court.
Right.
Which is impossible if it's a camera.
Yeah.
Or if it's the third-party company. So there's the first problem. The second one is you can't ever prove that you sent it because it's all done by mail. So you're not agreeing to go to court. You're not agreeing that you did anything. So if you don't show up, they can't prove you ever got it. Because, if you get a normal ticket in the state of any state, I guess, in the U.S., you sign off on your ticket, not admitting guilt, but that you'll show up in court.
Yeah.
And then the third is, should a third party be even looking at it? And it went to the Supreme Court of Florida, is what they said. Is that a thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think each state has
their own Supreme Court.
I guess so.
So it went to their court, and they ruled that a third party can view it as long as the police department is the final say. But it's still very weird. Traffic cameras is.
Does that go for all the rest of the crimes too? Then, am I allowed to watch other people committing crime?
Yeah, right. It's weird. So they did rule
as long as I don't actually rule whether it was a crime or not.
Yeah. So they ruled that was okay, but still it is. So moral of the story is if you get a traffic light camera, don't show up. You never got the letter.
I mean, I never get letters anyway, so.
And this,
Yeah.
the same as with your.
I mean, it worked for jury duty.
If
No,
if you're
those are the only things I get. So
if
let's
you're
just
a
put that out
pirate-
there. I'm not dodging jury
I'm
duty.
trying to go past it. You're going to be
So.
forever jury dodger. The same goes, and I don't know. I'm sure if you're watching a stream, you've probably been a pirate at some point in your life on the internet.
Oh, absolutely. Back in the day, sure, yeah.
Now, sometimes, I mean, someone is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get those emails from your ISP, if you don't click the link they send you, they can't prove you ever got the notice. So you don't have to pay the fine. That's how that works.
Huh.
You just don't open the email.
Who's getting
or letter.
fined?
You.
Like, no, I mean, is that a thing? Like, people
Yes.
are actually getting these letters?
Yes. I
Ridiculous.
myself, and I feel so stupid. And I mean, I've done things, but I downloaded this instead of just streaming. Stream's a gray area. I was downstairs,
Sure.
had the projector set up. This is in my parents' house, still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to watch Harry Potter, a specific Harry Potter. I think it was,
The Russian import?
I think it was Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, okay.
What's crazy is, I own the entire box set on DVD and
See,
a Blu-ray,
here's the thing.
and I didn't want to go get it.
Exactly. In my opinion, all right, you own the original.
Yeah.
So you should be able to have whatever digital copy you want. Period. You
that's-
have the original.
It's
That's
like
the same
that.
thing with like emulators. Like I have the
Yes,
physical disc,
that's
the
where it's
physical
okay.
cartridge.
It's okay there.
So,
Sony has said, like, if you have your PS3 modded,
mm-hmm.
like mine, you can back up games or download them online if you own the physical game.
Sure.
Blizzard was okay with it when Diablo 2, when I was playing, we would burn copies so we don't lose them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that way we play on two computers because you needed the disc.
Right.
You still couldn't play at the same time with the same disc because, there's serial.
Yeah.
But you owned it, so who cares if you burned it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a copy, and they fought it for a while, but I believe by the time Lord of Destruction came out, they're like, well, what can we do? I mean, you own it.
Yeah.
You made a copy. It's not like you're distributing it.
Yeah, but the problem is that a lot of these corporations, they're moving in the direction of even though you paid for this product, it still doesn't belong to you.
Yeah,
It's
it's
still
a use.
ours.
Yeah, it's a use.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Apple really wants to do with the iPhone.
Right.
The right to repair. They're like,
Yeah.
you don't own it.
Right.
And I guess these same people that were talking about the traffic cam, I guess Donut Media is who they are.
Oh,
on-
okay. Okay.
on oh, you've seen those guys?
Yeah.
They got a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
But they were saying there's a big push from the manufacturers of cars that they want to get rid of right to repair.
Yeah.
Completely. And some cars, such as BMW, have already kind of done it because they make things so complicated that
Sure.
you can't work on it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And they've been sued a few times because independent shops,
So-
should have the same technology.
Mm-hmm. The
and
big
they
thing
weren't
with
giving it to 'em.
like the new iPhones is that each component is actually like registered like to everything else. So you replace even like you replace the camera
Mm-hmm.
with an identical brand new
Yeah,
camera.
it's different.
It won't work. Like certain features will stop working.
Oh,
So-
Linus from Linus Tech Tips did a video on that. He said, I know you've seen my videos when you're looking and it says, please register Windows.
Mhm.
And he says, why we don't do this is because though I have Windows on this, we do so many benchmarking. I replace the GPU or the CPU, boom, Windows recognizes it as a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, why? He's like, you're either on the phone for hours or they want you to just buy another license. And he's like, why?
Right.
Like, I already own the licenses. So he's like, we just leave it there because it's just simply not worth it for someone who's changing so much stuff.
Yeah.
Which is true, especially in the computer industry. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were into computing, which I don't have yet, but you're always upgrading.
Exactly.
I mean, you
it's
want
not
the
like
new
he's
things.
making multiple computers
Yeah.
with Windows on it. It's like just swapping out parts.
Yeah, you're just upgrading.
Yeah.
He said it's
only ever one computer.
that whole, what's that boat thing? Like, is it the
Exactly.
same boat?
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you-
Perseus' ship. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is a weird
that
one to
it,
think
Perseus? Is that the?
about. No,
Is that
that is not it.
Theseus.
Nope, that's not
It's
it
not
either.
Theseus?
No, it's not. All right,
All right.
I got Jamie, pull that up.
Exactly. Prove me wrong. What
yeah.
is it?
Yeah, I'll prove you wrong. Give me a second. You want to fill the space here with something else?
Yes. I have a.
It was
very
Theseus.
Theseus.
I apologize.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, because Perseus was he killed the Kraken, right?
That's
The
not
Andromeda.
Prometheus, right? Where the aliens are?
No.
It's different. All right, go ahead to you were getting somewhere.
I was. Oh,
I said
don't
fill
know
the
where I
space
don't know
and
where
you
I
were
was
starting
going.
it. You're
Oh
going
no, I was
somewhere.
saying I have vast knowledge of what is it? Nah, I can't quote it. I was gonna try.
You have
to
vast
quote-
knowledge of things you don't have
Exactly,
the name of.
imperfect knowledge. I have a vast library of imperfect knowledge. There you go.
How I explained it to my parents, which offended my parents.
It's the Adventure Time, thing where the cat, whatever his name was.
Never seen it,
Oh, okay.
but
There
the
you
way-
go. It's
the
a
way
perfect
you're-
example. I can tell you what it is. I can get close, but I can't actually
it's
quote
me.
it.
If you look at, I'm a very big puddle, very shallow though.
Okay.
And some people are very small puddle, but very deep.
All right.
And that's how my mom is a very small puddle, but very deep. So what she knows is very, very deep to all the
Okay.
subjects she knows. Whereas my stepdad
Sure.
is huge. It's like an ocean that's an inch
Yeah.
deep. So
Do very good with general trivia.
yes, or just enough to get by, which
Yeah.
is nice in today's age. That's how I am. I mean, I like something, I learned just enough about it to know.
Yeah.
Which could be bad though. I've seen multiple people be interviewed and they're talking about things they only know some of, and it looks like you're debunking them. It looks like they're lying, but they
Mhm.
only know so much, and it's
Sure.
because you have to keep going. Well, I don't know exactly how,
Yes.
and it makes people look, which
Exactly.
is it's sad because you can
know.
make someone look stupid when they're saying something correct, but because their knowledge isn't deep enough,
Yes.
they can't explain it to someone who doesn't have that knowledge, which sucks.
Yeah.
It really does. That's my knowledge on cars. People think I'm a car guy, and I am.
Oh yeah.
But my knowledge
I
isn't
found that
deep
like
enough.
I'm terrified every day at work that someone's gonna find out that I don't know anything about cars. So
I'll be honest with you. I work with a lot of engineers. They don't know about
no.
cars.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Well, my buddy
So-
is a huge. I mean, he's very smart. One of the smartest guys I know. Engineer, but only knows the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
In
I mean, I
gen-
know enough about cars, but I mean, as far as like, people driving down the street, they can call out a car. Oh, look, there's this,
I see. I can do that.
like, a mile down there, and it's like, I don't know what that is.
I can do that.
I know what it's made out of. I could tell you all the parts on it, but I can't tell you what it is. So
See,
it's
it's
like
different.
I'm not a make and model type of guy.
I can do that,
So-
but I can't tell you full. Like there's levels. You got Joy, who she knows what she likes. That's it. Doesn't
Mhm.
know anything about them. Just knows the cars she likes.
Yeah.
You got me, who can pretty much name every car, make and model if I see it, and know some evidence. Something about it. You go to my buddy Nick, who I was talking about. He knows the make, model, and because he was a mechanic, he knows basically what engine's in it, the transmission.
Sure,
He knows everything
yeah.
about it.
All the problems that particular car has.
Yes,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you go one step deeper, and they probably know everything about every car, what the problems are, and how to fix the problems.
Right, like
So,
the car guys. Have you ever listened to that radio show, whatever their name is?
I mean, there's a couple of them, but I think I know it. Is it the two guys?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because the Howard Stern show used to prank call them sometimes.
Oh,
but
yeah?
yeah. I mean,
They're pretty funny, but they're
they're good.
they're very knowledgeable as well. So
Yeah, it's nice because they're knowledgeable, almost to a fault. But that's how the show is. Because when you call in, you're relying on that person to know what the problem is that they're
Right.
asking.
yes,
And from what I've heard and what I've dealt with family members who ask me to fix their car is they don't know. Like,
Exactly.
they think they know what's
can't
wrong,
describe what it is.
but
yeah.
they tell you something completely
Sure.
wrong. And then you get there and you're like, you tell me this.
Yeah.
And this isn't even close.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But some
I mean,
like,
look how long it took just to diagnose. I had some sort of, squeaky issue with.
I was
with
just
my
gonna bring.
fan. Yeah. it's
Oh,
like-
with your fan. I was gonna say your car. Remember when you were saying your car brakes were squeaking?
Oh, right.
And I told
yes.
you it was probably
I
a
knew-
rock.
I knew it was. I just couldn't find it. I couldn't see it.
And I just grabbed that
And then
little
you just
stick
went
and
and you
knocked it
got
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got lucky that I could see the rock, but that's
Right?
what I assumed it was.
Yeah, but it was so perfectly hidden that I looked at it several times. I'm
And
like,
couldn't
there has
find it.
got to be something stuck, behind the brake pad here, and I just
It happens more
I couldn't
often.
see it,
and
yeah.
Things like that worry me because I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people a year that go in and some shop that's not nice
Right.
quotes them for all new brakes and they know
Yeah.
it's a rock
yeah.
and they're stuck paying it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the shops I go to where my friends work, they're going to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, they might tell you other problems you have, but if you come in and there's a rock, the rock's going to fall and they're going to be like, look, you probably should replace your brakes, but it was just a rock. No charge. Just you can leave if you'd like, but you should replace this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how it should be. You're going to get more business that way because someone's going to be more likely to come back
Right.
to you, I feel.
I always find it hilarious when the guys will, pull out a filter and be like, oh, you need to change this, and it's not even dirty. It's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that happened to you?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah, I'm
I
no, I don't want that changed.
I took Joy's old car
It's
in
like,
for an oil change.
mm-hmm.
As far as I could tell, she'd never had an oil change.
Oh,
Ever.
wow. Huh.
So I brought in, they'd just been adding oil.
Huh.
So anyway, I brought it
Wow.
in for an oil change. The guy goes, hey, your cabin filter's really dirty. Do you want to replace it?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I don't want to replace it. He's like, I think you should replace it. You want to see it? And I'm thinking, well, this car's never had an oil change, so maybe. Brings it out. It literally had hair blocking everything, leaves, twigs.
Oh,
And I was like, well, how
no.
much? And he quoted me $7 or whatever. And it was like $6 at Walmart.
Huh.
I'm like, yeah, just do it.
Sure.
Just do it. But
That
usually,
reminds me, I gotta
don't
look at
do it.
mine because I was parking under the tree there and had a lot of stuff fall.
My car doesn't
fall
have
under,
one.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So 2006, 7, 9, 10, and 11, and 12 all have cabin filters.
Huh.
08, no cabin filter.
Really?
It's literally just a mesh screen under my hood that goes
Huh.
to the inside.
Okay.
So that's, nothing's going to get blown in, but there's no filter, and there's even no brackets for the filter to be installed.
Wow.
Yeah. Also in 2008, all the Dodge Chargers except for the 2.7 liter, the smallest motor, all but that have dual exhaust coming from the engine all the way back out the back. In 2008, they decided we're going to have them coming off the engine and go to a Y pipe, but backwards. Most people have single exhaust, make it to dual. They're like, we have true dual exhaust. I'm going to put it to single. Why? I have no idea. I mean, it was cost savings,
Because
I'm
one
sure.
pipe, not two. One pipe.
Most people want the dual exhaust. I mean, it's better for your engine. It
Right.
sounds better. You get more flow. But you already have it from, and so their cost savings was, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 foot of pipe.
Sure.
That was it.
Yeah, that adds up though.
It does, but
Like I'll tell you, it's a balancing act.
but not enough
so,
because 6, 7, and 9 all had the
Mhm.
dual exhaust, and so on forward.
Yeah.
So just in 08, they did all these cost savings, and they're like, you know what? It wasn't worth it.
I've seen that a lot. Like we'll make a change and then change it back. So, like, yeah, well, we tried it.
we
Yeah.
tried and
We
didn't
tried.
work.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a story of my stepdad told me him and his brother were building a race car, and his brother was building it. He was helping, and he gets it all back together. He's like, "All right, we're good to go." My stepdad goes, "What about all these parts over here?" And he goes, "Those are extra parts." So, those weren't necessary. Not necessary. Which
Right? Well, one of those is a tire. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
You know,
Which-
you'll really only need 3. Whatever.
I'll improve your car knowledge. And these are in my opinion, the ugliest Mustangs was like 299 to like 03. They call them the fastest one's the Terminator. It's like the rounded Mustang.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of them are driving around, but they made their Mustang GT. Everyone calls it the Terminator. It's not only the best motor they had at the time, it had the least amount of safety features to make it
Ooh.
lighter. Like no firewall in the car in most
alright.
places. I mean, it had not
Is that
the
why they call it the Terminator?
I don't
It's
know.
because
I think they just call it that because it's like
the
you know,
Widowmaker
it's
is
the
what they
best.
should call it.
that's what all Porsche should be called. If you
Right.
look up any celebrity that's died in a car,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say 90% are Porsche
Hmm.
because they're made for the track. And
Yeah.
we talked about this last podcast. People buy them, they don't understand.
Oh yeah.
You
yeah.
get in a Hellcat, your cousin bought one,
Mhm.
a lot of safety features. You get in a Porsche, no safety features because it's made for someone who's driving on a track. I mean,
Yeah.
no traction control, no stability control.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just pure power.
I mean, I've seen it over and over again, and and just my own experience of being in a car that actually has those resources available. It's like you don't get it. Like most people on the road, like they have never felt that before. Like what that feels like, to have that much power. Like,
Mhm.
as soon as you press the pedal there, and it's
Well, it's
like,
amazing.
exactly.
It's
I
awesome.
love it. It's
Yes.
it's addictive. It really
It's very
is.
addictive.
But you don't know what to do with that. And so I've seen like videos all the time of people, like there was this one where they're like in this industrial park or whatever, and behind
Is it a
everything.
Mustang?
I can't remember what
It's
it
always
was,
the
but
Mustang.
yeah, it comes zooming by and like and there's it's like one of those like manhole covers, but they have like the square cement block
Oh yeah,
around
it's a
it.
little higher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So just a little bit of a lip there. But he's going so fast, he hits that lip, car goes up, so he's loses
you
traction.
lose your traction immediately.
And and he's like just tries to brake, obviously can't, keeps going all the way down, across the next road here and into the building.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Everyone's running down
Oh,
there. Like,
it was a
what?
Tesla.
Yeah.
That was a Tesla,
Huh.
and he went through the bushes and then into
Yeah,
the building, and his friends ran up.
exactly.
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
Tesla. Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous that they were even trying, because they were trying ludicrous mode in such a small area
Yeah.
that no matter what, you're not going to be able to stop.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's with Tesla has probably arguably some of the most advanced things for your car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had tried that in a car with no features, like even my Trans Am, I had no traction control. Coming from, I've only driven things with traction control, lots of power.
Mm-hmm.
Trans Am had less power, but no safety features. And it was automatically already harder to manage the less power. Because you get on the expressway, you lose traction. It's not coming back. In modern cars, it's going to come back for you, or it's going to cut your power. Nope, this is just like, oh, you want to go full throttle with no traction? Sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Actually, it's less than that. There's no computer saying anything.
Right?
So there's no thought. The Corvette I had, you could turn it off.
Yeah.
And everything I read online was they're like, if you're going to track the car, if you hit the button once, traction control goes off. If you hit it twice, traction and stability control go off. And that stability control is telling which tires get power, and it's holding it in line.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're both off, that car is rear-wheel drive
Slippy.
front engine.
Yeah.
It just wants to do donuts. So immediately, there's so many guys on there like, I accidentally hit the button twice. And he's like, off the course immediately, first turn. It's like, I'm a professional driver. I drive almost every day on a race course.
Right.
No stability control, just spun out immediately.
Huh.
So that's the dangers.
Yeah.
And you'll see people that are stupid or I don't know
Right.
about stupid, but just misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Even with all these things, you see people buying Hellcats crashing them same day.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Right.
Millionaire, you can go
Yeah,
on. There's
that's
probably
what I'm hoping that Josh, is careful with that. So I haven't seen him drive it, so I don't know.
I have.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Well, we met up with my buddy Travis with his modded Corvette, which was, I thought the Hellcat, and he is a red eye, so 797 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
Travis's car was an 06 Corvette, just heads cam intake, no supercharger, still all motor, but I think he had about 600 to the wheels, whereas Josh has 800 to the crank.
Mm-hmm.
So probably around 700 or so to the wheels. It wasn't even close. Travis's Corvette walked it like it was nothing. And I've ridden in Josh's car. It's ridiculously fast. I mean, 800 horsepower is crazy. But
Right.
yes, watching those two, I'm like, I'm never going with you guys again. Ever. I like cars. I like driving fast. But I said, next time, if you guys want to do this, I'll bring my car and I'll park and watch or make sure, there's... They're smart. They weren't doing it in like traffic, obviously. So I was like, I'll just make sure there's no cops. But jeez, man, I've seen how Josh drives. Even when he took me for a ride when he first got it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm surprised at how well he handles it. And he's told me multiple times he's gone to parking lots, to feel, which is smart, very smart for him.
Yep.
To feel it.
I mean, I've heard that's a theory of, why men tend to be better drivers is because
They push it.
when they first start driving, they push beyond the limits of what they can handle. And girls don't do that. They drive safely. So they don't know where that limit is.
Or
Guys
what to
have
do
been
when
there.
you get into it, yeah.
Yeah, guys have been through that. Like they recognize it and be like, now I'm in the danger zone because last time I was here, I was out of control.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's true. Our, I shouldn't say our, but my driving instructor for driver's training would take people, if you had a winter class, to an empty parking lot
Oh, yeah.
and let you drift, do donuts,
Sure.
whatever, because he wanted you to feel what it feels like when you lose the traction.
Right.
So even though you might not, he's not teaching the skill to regain it.
I would
but
do
he's-
it all the time, driving out in the country, just to feel what it felt like to lose control.
You were doing it
lose
for like
traction.
knowledge?
Yes.
I just do it for fun.
Mm.
Yes, I remember when Joy told me never to take Kylie, and then on the way over to your mom's house, we cut through that school right there, and I did some donuts. We get there, Kylie's like, we did donuts. I'm like, that was the first thing you're not. I told you, don't say
She means
that.
we went to VG's, we bought donuts. That's what she's talking about.
Yes,
Just a little
But no,
confused about what.
kids love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I don't get when I talk to people about cars, and they're just like, cars don't do anything for me. I'm like, but even kids.
Yeah.
Kids understand how fun
Yes.
that is. So
Oh,
somewhere
yeah.
along the way, people somehow lose that.
Right.
Because I've never met a kid that hasn't heard a car start up, be loud, or watched a drag race in person.
Mhm.
TV is different, and thought it was cool.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
monkey brain goes loud
Mm-hmm.
is cool.
Yeah.
So
I think it, you just lose that sense of wonder, I guess, or you get desensitized to cool experiences.
maybe. I feel the same about guns, though. I mean,
Yeah.
bang, powerful, it's cool. You can destroy, you shoot a bottle, it blows up. To me, that's never going to get old. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
sure.
care if you're using a slingshot or throwing a rock at
Yeah.
a piece of glass.
Well, I mean,
It's cool.
I think it takes a conscious effort to retain, the wonder and the awe of certain things, which, again, talking in, generalities here, men tend to get in trouble a lot because
We're going to get in trouble for this podcast.
I
Jeremy,
know
if
we
you keep
will.
saying
Yep.
men versus women.
men versus women. All right, there's a clear winner.
There's
Uh,
oh god, and that, folks,
And
is
there
the
you
end
go.
of the
We
stream.
got canceled. That was it. No, but always telling guys to grow up, to when all they're doing is enjoying their hobbies, their interests.
Oh yeah,
So,
I see it online all the time.
but because their interests aren't like what's deemed socially acceptable is just work and that's it. Even though you do work all the time,
yes.
but then after work you're like, I want to play video games.
Yes,
I want to go
that's the big
shooting. I
one.
want to go driving. It's like, why are you such a child? It's like,
Well,
it's like
you,
no, I'm
you
not.
hit on a good point. The video
Yeah.
games.
Sure.
You see it all the time. People don't think it's a hobby, or they don't understand why people spend so
Right.
much time doing it. And I'm very lucky that your sister, who I've married,
hmm
is understanding that video games.
She
is,
better be. I mean, she bought you the PS5, so
Yes.
I told her, like, when she bought that, I'm like, she's very excited. She want to, call.
It
me
was very
immediately.
exciting. I was
Yeah.
very shocked.
Yep. She had a hard time staying at work because she
She brought it home at lunch.
I know. Yeah, but she bought it that morning.
Yeah, she told me she
All
was
right,
bringing
so-
home something for
And
lunch.
so she texts me like every hour. She's like 3 hours left, 2 hours left.
really?
Yeah, I mean, she was very excited. But anyway, I told her, I'm like, now that you bought that, you took on that responsibility. Now you have no right at all to complain.
It's the other way, Jeremiah.
So-
It's I bought it for you.
I see now.
I deem it
Yep.
necessary. But yeah, her friends even, they go, you let him play video games like that, and because they
Well,
don't
sure.
understand.
I've heard people. I won't give any details, but is that they've taken their boyfriend's PlayStation and locked it in their trunk.
Oh well, cool. We're talking about the same person. So
Well, I don't want to call anyone out, so like I said, no details. But
I'm not going to say
Yeah.
names, but I mean, Jeremiah, that's a very specific story.
it is. Yes,
that
see,
person was watching.
We know it's a personal story that of an actual event. Not I heard this happen. It's like
Yes,
we
it
know
happened.
about.
But you
yeah.
see it on Reddit all
But
the time.
yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you, I mean, I because Joy's brought that up several times, and I said, if that ever happened to me, that's crossing the line right there.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like, you don't do that.
The
Like
thing
we can have a conversation as adults, or this is over. I
Well,
mean,
for you,
so,
I mean, we can't talk on other people's situations. Maybe the other person wasn't
Sure.
an adult about it.
who knows exactly? I don't know what led up to that
Yeah,
and that kind
happening.
of stuff, but
In
yeah.
general, yeah, that would be something that's. And the video game one is the one I don't see because it's such a cheap, relatively speaking, hobby.
sure.
Now
but,
I get if you're.
I mean, just because children also enjoy it does not
Yes.
make it a child activity or child
Oh
interest.
yeah.
And there's plenty of games that obviously prove that fact, that these are not intended for children at all.
Probably
But-
more than there are for children.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I would say way more games
Sure.
that are not child friendly.
But I mean, like, think about it. What is socially acceptable? Watching sports? What does that entail?
Oh, that's a
I
weird
literally
one.
sit here and watch. I'm not engaging. I don't have anything to do with what's going on with this game
Mhm.
at all. Difference being in video games, I actually have, control over this. Like what I do with this determines,
It's like a
whether
movie
there's
or a
success
book
or
that
not.
you're a part of.
Sure. Yeah.
But the sports one.
But there's more engagement than sports. But sports is so much more socially acceptable than video games. It's kind of weird.
Well, what's really weird, and I will say I was in this group. So when Twitch was first getting big, people were saying, well, how could you watch other people game?
I know.
I was in that
It
crowd.
would exactly.
I was
it
like,
seemed
why,
like a weird
why
concept.
would you watch someone play video games?
Sure.
And then I started watching it, and then I heard someone else argue it's just like watching sports.
Right.
It's because it's something you would like to do or be at that level.
Yeah.
Or you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
There
found
are
myself.
plenty of people that watch them like I could never be at that level. Like they're in a
Yeah.
category way beyond me. Yeah.
I watch Twitch all the time, whether it be trying to support my friends, that are gaming, and I just join in, to see how they're doing or just give them that one more viewer.
Yeah.
But there's games that I want to watch play. Maybe I don't own it. Maybe that person's better at me. And there's plenty of times I've watched a walkthrough on a part I can't beat.
Right.
And it's like watching games is the same as sports. You have no control over what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing a game just like the other guys on the field playing a game. So
Yeah.
I don't watch sports, so I don't get it.
Right.
I'll watch hockey. Hockey's fast paced and interesting. There's fights, that's cool, but football for the most part or baseball is just so slow, and it's like I have no.
I
said,
think
there's no
the
interest.
most sports I've ever watched. I lived with a family for about 3 years, and they would watch hockey and in NASCAR.
NASCAR's
so-
boring, but hockey has got to be the most interesting to watch.
Sure.
There's almost
yes.
no breaks.
Exactly.
It's all very
high
fast
pace.
paced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's why kids like it so much. Cause
Right.
Kylie just went to the football game, wasn't interested. I said hockey, it's hard to lose interest.
Sure.
It's so fast. There's always
Exactly.
something happening.
Right.
You have to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, sports. If you have no into like football, if you don't care about the teams,
Right.
it's hard to get into because you're like, well,
Yeah.
I don't care.
I've
who
only ever
wins.
been to one professional, NFL game before.
It's better in person.
So
All sports,
yeah.
I think, are better except baseball.
But
Baseball
yeah.
in person's hot and boring and
Mhm.
long, very long.
Right. Yep. Well,
Have you been to a professional hockey game?
Oh,
Let's go.
I don't think I have. I think I've only been to like semi-pro.
I hate our new stadium, but
Yeah.
we should go. I mean, if we can get cheap tickets,
Sure.
it's so much.
I've been to the stadium. I just haven't got.
Oh, you've been
seen
there?
a game there.
Concert?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I hate it.
Yeah.
The outside of the stadium, the food choice, everything's much better, but the seats, horrible. I mean, I don't know where you sat, but usually it's really steep and everyone's really close.
Yeah.
And it's bigger, but at the Joe Louis, which they used to have, it was still pretty steep. But even the nosebleeds, you were good because you're close, because they pack so many people in there. And it was more of an experience. Like, this seems more high class. Like, anyone's going, no one cares. When you were at the Joe Louis, I mean, someone gets a score, either team, everyone's jumping up, and it's like you're part of an experience. That's
Sure.
what made being live so good.
Yeah.
I mean, you were, even if you have no idea what's going on, the energy you felt.
I got a kick out of like I went to an NFL game as a kid, and that's what entertained me. We're so far back I couldn't see what was going on.
It's the energy.
So
you
exactly.
just feel it, and it feels good to be at the. I mean, you walk out feeling like,
yeah,
wow, something happened.
I was having fun, entertaining the crowd. I put the popcorn bucket on my head.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah.
I
Yep.
started a chant as a kid at a Red Wings game. Their goalie was Osgood, and they would all chant like Ozzy, and I started doing it.
Mhm.
Guy next to me started doing it before he knew the whole stadium, and I was like, "This is awesome!" Like
I started
that, and we all cheered
Right.
for him, and it was
Yeah.
nuts. Or the wave, people would do the wave around there, and it was. Even if you didn't start it, I mean, when that comes around and everyone around you is going, it feels great.
Sure.
You're like, you feel the energy.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
as concerts. I mean, you're there to, even if you can't hear the concert playing good, I mean, it's there. Everyone somehow
Oh, yeah.
connected.
I mean, that's why I loved, going to the parks when I lived in Florida. It's not necessarily like the activity itself; it's the crowd, it's the people.
the parks.
Yeah, the amusement parks.
Oh, amusement parks. Yeah. There's the energy there too. I mean,
Right.
so many people are.
So
happy.
I just walk around there, wouldn't do anything, wouldn't ride anything, wouldn't
Just soak it in.
Season pass, whatever. So I just go on the weekends and just do walk a circuit, and just like recharge. And,
Well, I feel this. That's why I love being so close to Chicago. You go to Chicago, and it's like even if you're doing nothing in the city, it's alive. Cities are alive versus you go into a shopping center. I mean, like
Sure.
you can just feel it. I mean, everyone's moving, everyone's going to
I
work.
think my
or
problem,
eat.
like I like Chicago as far as like the culture, all the restaurants and museums and all that kind of stuff. But I think my problem is that every single time I've been there, it's always been cold, and that's. I
It's
know
great in the
cold.
summer.
It's
It
very
is
cold,
cold.
but I've never been there in the summer, like when it's
you
nice.
gotta go.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
now's not the good time to go
Sure.
because there's a lot of crime there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this story, and we won't get political about it, but that's where my stepdad's family is, and his brother just now took 9 months to get a permit to buy a gun because you need a permit in this state of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
9 months just to get a permit to buy, and I'm not saying carry because you can't even carry there. It's so 9 months, and then
Right.
the same for ammo permit.
Yeah.
You need a permit to buy ammo,
Wow.
and you have to show the permit before they'll even let you look at the ammo.
Huh.
That's crazy. So regardless of your political stance, it's 9 months for any kind of approval is a very, very long time.
Right.
I know people that have adopted children faster than 9 months.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
So I see your face. You want to go somewhere. But
I do, but yeah,
That's okay.
that'll get us canceled faster than my women comment.
That's right.
So.
But yeah, I thought I'd share that with you, just so you know. It's nuts.
Yes, that's it. That's a topic I could get on a soapbox. And,
Yeah, that's all right.
yeah.
I'll go back to Chicago. Yeah. So Chicago is great. I like going, like you said, for the energy. I don't have to. I can go there, walk around the city, and do nothing, and be totally fine.
My one, kind of kicking myself about because I have had the opportunity, just have never done it. Is go to the Museum of Natural History.
We were supposed to go when your lease was up.
Exactly.
We should have just gone.
Yep. But right there,
We could do a day trip
So.
anytime you want. I'll go with you. I love
Somehow
the city.
I always manage to find myself in the group that just wants to go to the shed, and that's it.
The shed
So,
is awesome.
It is.
It
I
is
love
awesome.
it. But it's like we went there last time. It's like we have other museums we can go to.
Yeah, 3
So-
right there.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, Chicago. I'll go anytime. You could say let's go right. Well, no, I'm gonna be gone tomorrow. So I'd go on Sunday. I'll go with you Sunday. It's a day trip. It's a long day.
It is. Yes.
But
yeah.
I would do it. It's what, 4 hours there and back.
Well, now for me it'd probably take 5
Why?
because I drive slow. I'm an old man.
Well, I'll drive. I don't want to ride. I can't ride in a car for 4 hours. Sorry, you're gonna ride. I'll drive 4 hours.
I have a hard time riding. Like,
That's
it's
great.
a problem. Like between the two of us, I can defer, so that's why you drive most of the time. But
Well, that's me and
among
Nick.
my friends, I am the driver.
I'm the
So,
driver too except
Mhm.
Nick, and the only person I usually ride with besides family, which would be you, is I'll ride with Nick, and he'll ride with me. But
Yeah.
we both prefer to drive, so
Sure.
it's always
Yeah.
that thing where it's like, "You want me to drive?" He's like, "Well, I was gonna drive." I was like,
Huh.
"Can I drive?" He's like, "I'd like to drive." I'm like, "All right, you
no,
can drive."
no, that's all right.
That's all right.
We're good.
I base it on how
So
far it is.
in my friend group, it's not even a question. Like when we're going to go get dinner, take a break, whatever. Like we all just walk to my car because it's like no one asks who's driving.
Well, Joy hands
So.
me the keys. She just knows. She
Yeah.
tried fighting it at first. She was like, "Well, let me drive." Now it's just ingrained. Like I
Right.
have to drive.
Yeah.
And except for last year when we went somewhere close at my mom's, it had been probably 6 years since I rode in the back seat of a car. It had been a very long, because just
Yeah.
back seats. Riding for me is one thing, but then a back seat is like, it's like you spit in my face.
Sure.
I'm like, what?
I got demoted.
Like you want me
Yeah.
in the back seat?
Right? What am I, a child?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay, I can get past the driving, but
Yeah.
you want me in the back seat? I'll walk.
Right?
I'll drive myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See,
And
that's why you got to bulk up right there, because then they feel bad for stuffing in the back seat.
Oh, that's how you do it?
That's how you do it.
I just
Yep.
tell them I'm going to throw up in your car.
Ah,
That's it.
that also works. Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah, Josh does that. Yep. He gets motion sickness
He
pretty
rides
bad.
with me fine,
Yeah.
which is weird because I've heard I'm not. When I'm driving, you don't get motion. I'm driving, so I don't get motion sickness. But
Right.
you've been in the car with me. I'm not like the
Yeah.
most calm
He doesn't
driver.
usually get sick with me either, so I don't know who he's riding
You
with. that
drive
he
pretty
gets
calm, though.
Sick, so.
I
Yeah.
would say on average, I don't drive that calm.
Mm.
I have to like think about it. Not that I'm like weaving in and out. It's just
Oh man, the other day, it was actually last night. It was I went out to the other side of town, and oh my gosh, man, so many people out there just like had completely forgotten how to drive.
well. First, our town is screwed up right now.
It is, yes. I mean, and that is the problem, is the construction.
Yeah.
So
for people who don't know, our whole town has every expressway shut down to our town.
Yep.
So there's like
so it's
maybe
redirecting the traffic in a very unnatural way, and so it's people are getting frustrated. They're making really dumb mistakes. I'm surprised that I didn't see any accidents. Like there should be accidents all over, because this is just chaos out here. Yeah.
And there should be.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole town. I don't know what it is. I wanted to blame COVID for having so many people not driving, because it is something that you could lose your edge on very fast if you don't drive for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because we have
it happens every year with snow, so yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right.
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the older population. Our town has a lot of assisted living facilities coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to blame that, but when I see someone do something really stupid or wrong, it's usually not someone older.
Exactly.
I mean, it is on occasion in general,
Right.
but in our town, it's not.
Right.
It's usually a middle-aged person
Mm-hmm.
who should have, I mean, they're in their 40s. You should have at least 10 years of driving. At
Right.
least minimum, you've been driving at
A
least
lot
10
of that
years.
comes from just being selfish.
Yeah,
honestly,
entitlement,
because
yeah.
we do have a lot of that here. So,
Well, yes.
and that's what it is. It's like, you know this was an unsafe maneuver, and you made it anyway because you are more important than anyone else.
So how do you feel about drivers here versus Florida? Because I notice a lot of selfish
Oh,
drivers
yeah.
when I'm in Florida.
Well, I mean, Florida, it was there were a lot of bad drivers. I mean,
Yes.
but that was just because the elderly population was much higher there.
You think it was more elderly? It just
It
feels...
was the
okay.
type of drivers I was encountering. Yeah, it was people driving too slow on the expressway. That happened a lot.
Minus tourism, because Orlando,
Yeah,
full of tourists.
and there is that the people that are lost,
And they're the worst.
Yep, mm-hmm. They're not paying attention because the kids are distracting them and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, we
a lot of that
almost
too.
got in 5 or 6 accidents, and
Mm-hmm.
we were tour. I mean, we don't live there. I've been there a few times in my life, but still, it amazes me that tourists can play that card. I'm not from around here. It's like, well, you have GPS.
Yeah,
It's very simple now.
right.
And like you said, it's half entitlement because they missed their exit. They want to cut over real fast, or they want to stop in the middle and then turn the other way. Just drive. That's why we
Right.
have GPS now. It will get you there eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe impatience more than entitlement, or the kids thing. But still, I mean, I've had kids in the car. It's not
Yeah,
the end
Oh,
all
man,
be
I've
all. I
had-
mean, it's very...
I've driven I wouldn't call them kids or teens, but
I've driven your
down
brothers
to
at the
Florida,
same time,
so,
all right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of arguing. Did your parents ever tell you can't turn the light on in the back of a car?
Oh
at
yeah.
night?
Yes.
I don't get that. Why did
Yeah.
everyone parents tell them that?
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Right.
It does not,
Mm-hmm.
no effect.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
And I see that online all the time. Like, why did people...
I mean,
Was there a campaign going around?
Puts a glare on the windshield and they can't see as well or something
slightly,
like that.
but...
Exactly. I mean...
I remember getting yelled at. You like turn on the light. What are you doing? And I'm like, what? And then someone does it to me when I'm driving, and it's hardly noticeable.
Sure.
They're like, hey, they ask permission. Like, can I turn the light on? I'm like, yeah, what are you asking me for?
Right.
Yeah, if you need the light on, what are you asking me? You can turn it on.
I was traumatized as a kid. I mean...
We
I
all
don't
were,
know.
apparently.
Right?
And we have an age gap, and we were both traumatized.
Yeah.
So it's
Just
not
the
even...
thing. Just the thing that parents do. Yeah.
I've never done it.
Huh.
I have said, don't make me turn this car around, though.
Oh, yeah?
I've used that. Yeah, my parents
Ah.
used it. I wised up when I don't know, probably 11 or 12, and we were going to Florida, and we were in Florida, drove, and then my parents were mad at something, and I thought it was stupid for whatever they were mad at, and we, bickering back and forth. My mom's like, we will turn this car around right now, and I laughed. Big mistake, which is very weird. I laugh in nervous situations.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Someone's crying, I'm going to laugh, and it's just,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't control
yeah.
But, so I laugh, and then I go, no, you won't.
Oh.
And she's like, yes, I will. I'm like, we've already, I'm old enough to realize, we're in Florida. There's no way that your pride is going to turn. And then it was just kind of over. She was more mad. And I could feel it. It was just getting hot.
Man, that for me, I don't care how long it took us to get to Florida.
You will?
You want to challenge me? Yeah, we're going home.
You'll do it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I might.
So get this,
what if it was a one-time thing?
I
though?
inherit that from my grandfather.
As a one-time thing, if your kid did, I get it if the kid you're with is a little shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if they just said it one time, or you still turn around just to prove a point.
I mean, I won't I'm not gonna write down rules here like, because I think that every situation needs to be handled
No, right. No,
appropriately.
I want it now.
So, but
Write it in the stone.
it really depends on the kid.
Yeah,
Honestly.
that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Yeah.
if your kid's a little shit all the time, I'm gonna do it.
I mean, if that's the thing. When it comes to a battle of wills like that, it's like you're not gonna win, like, period.
Well, we're
So-
gonna get canceled for that too. But
I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry. That's the role of a parent.
Well, yes, I agree.
So,
I agree with
and
you.
if you know, I'm gonna come out of the hard stance here, and I don't care if you're offended. If you have a problem with that, you're a bad parent.
Yes, I agree.
So,
I agree. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to take the doors off people's bedrooms, but
right,
I mean,
yes,
there's
there's a difference between being an overbearing parent and one who is looking out for the best interests of your child.
yes, you're not a
So-
friend. You're a parent.
Right.
You can be both.
You have a responsibility.
but you're a parent first.
To to fulfill that role. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, like I said, that said, I'm not talking about, like, being so overblown that you're treading into, abusive, behaviors. Absolutely not. Like, I don't condone that at all.
no belt hitting.
No,
So,
no.
hmm.
I do believe in discipline, but not abuse. So, yeah.
What about physical discipline?
So
I'm not talking about beating your kid, but
Fortunately, I've never had to do this myself, and I kind of go back and forth. It really depends on how you look at it, but it also depends on the child. Some children, like, that is like the worst thing you could do to them. Like, but
from a mental standpoint, you mean
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that
Some
would
people-
affect the kid
yes,
very
exactly.
bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So some kids, that's the only thing that will work for them. So that's why I'm saying, like, saying across the board, this is what you can do, what you can't do. That's not how people work.
Well, you said
Like-
men are better than women. I heard.
Well, that is an absolute.
that's it.
that's the one.
Sorry, we don't deal in absolutes except
And
that
there you
one
go.
absolute will deal
And
in.
that's why I'm single. There you go.
Oh yeah, all right. So
So
let's get some women in the chat here.
There
for
you go.
Jeremiah.
Yes, there you go. But no, I think that I used to be in my psychology class, in college. I mean, it was like
Not
that was like
YouTube?
one of the
It's
first
not a
things.
YouTube
No,
psychology.
this is not a YouTube psychology class. This is actual, like, very, very brilliant man that was teaching this, and learned a lot from him. But
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
But yeah, and like he brought that up a lot, like, that children are all different. They have their own personalities. They'll respond to
Oh, yeah.
your instruction differently. So it's not a one size fits all type of thing. You can read every parenting book there is, and I guarantee your kid's going to do something that will surprise you.
Well, yeah,
So-
and it could be different day to day, or
Absolutely.
age to age.
Right.
I mean, your child could, like, that would have scared me forever. My mom saying, "Let's turn this car around," and like, as your brain develops or as you get more experience and
Yeah.
see other people doing things or watch movies or TV, it could change
Mm-hmm.
your view on.
Yeah, but as far as, like, I'll turn this car around. I mentioned it being when it comes to a battle of wills, but it also is like, if you're not willing to follow through
Yeah, that's
with
another thing.
with a threat,
Yes.
then don't make it.
Yes.
So,
Oh, I'm fully on board.
Yeah.
Anytime I've made a deal with a child, or deal or a threat, it's like
Sure.
this. You cannot.
they have to know that
can't
you
take
are
it back
that
on
yes, that you will do what you say you're going to do. Like, you are consistent.
because they'll push that,
Right.
and that's
Mm-hmm.
I think across the board that's for all kids.
Right.
That's a human nature to push it,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
which we saw even in the pandemic. They say that you can't do one thing, and more people do it, and you realize you can do it, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
Because the more anyone pushes with no restriction, I'm not saying it's good or bad thing, it's just human nature. You're gonna push it no matter
Oh
what.
yeah.
I mean, I would have.
Yep. That's the quickest way to get me to to do something, is to tell me to not do it. So, I mean, like,
I felt this. Like, so I would, when I was home,
very,
I would.
very stubborn, very rebellious.
I-
So yeah.
I'm kind of like the same, but opposite. Like, I would have this idea that I'm gonna do something in my head,
Mhm.
and it would mainly be like, I'm gonna clean the house today, really good for my mom, right?
Mhm.
This is what I'm gonna do with my night. If my mom would come home, walk in the door, and say, "Hey, you need to clean the house," instantly, I don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it was.
I'm exactly the
I
same
don't want
way.
to do it now.
Yep. Yes.
Now I'm gonna be mad because, like, I want it to be
You ruined
my
it.
idea.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
like, I would be happy, or if someone asks me like, hey, will you do this for me? I'm happy to do it.
Sure.
But then if you start like putting timeline on, you're like, hey, you didn't do this yet. I'm like, well, now I don't
Yep.
want to do it. I was
Yes.
gonna do it for you,
Yeah.
and now I don't want to do
I
it.
was always that way, and still am. But you ask me to do something. Oh, of course I'll do it. But it has to be on my time, so I feel comfortable that it was my decision to do it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm doing it because you asked me to do it.
You don't want to
So-
feel forced to do
Exactly,
something.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a free will
I
battle.
had to do some chore once, and from someone who, I felt was, like, primarily my peer, but they felt like, they were above me, and they weren't. They didn't have that authority, and them telling me to do this chore really ticked me off. I'm like, I don't care if I don't have a choice in doing it at all.
Like commanding you.
Just present me with the illusion of choice. But
Yeah, ask first.
yeah. But don't tell me to do
And you're probably
something.
still not going to like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like I have a pretty independent job, I would say. I mean, I have a job that I have to do, but besides that, it's independent-ish.
Sure.
But if I'm working on something, and whether it be my boss or an engineer, someone tells me, hey, do this now,
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely don't want to do it. I'm like, yeah, it's my job to do. I'm going to get to it. I know I can self-manage. Like, I have 8 hours in a day.
Yeah.
I know when I can get it done. But now you're telling me I'm just going to wait longer.
Right.
It would have been done an hour ago.
Yeah.
But now I just made you wait an hour because you're being pushy about it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because for my particular role, there's no timeline of when I have to do that. So now you're telling me I have to do it on a timeline. It's like, well, now you just broke what my job is.
Right.
My job isn't to listen to you. My job is to do my job.
Yeah.
Not do my job when you said to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's like a lot of the really, subtle things. Like, I like to disobey signs a lot.
Oh.
So a sign says, don't walk past this point. Don't touch this.
I've
Don't
got
do
so
that.
many. I'll pull
It's
them up
like,
on Facebook
yeah.
of me doing that. It's like, don't
Yeah.
walk past this, and I just go
Right?
slightly
It's like,
past it
yeah.
and take a picture.
Exactly. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah. I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah. Just
danger electrocution. Oh yeah, I'm poking that.
yes,
that.
it brings
Yep.
me joy. It does. Like to just know.
Don't touch it.
And
yeah.
you still know your limit. Yeah, that don't
Sure.
touch it. Don't walk here. It's like
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely doing that. Yes, I love breaking small rules. Actually, how I met your sister, which I still don't know why she was like, that's the guy to marry right there. I was vaping outside of the school
Uh-huh.
in a no smoking zone. Like that's what because I just didn't
Uh-huh.
care. I was like,
Sure.
how are you gonna tell? I kind of get smoking. It's outside. It's in a courtyard. Like it's a very weird place to say you can't smoke. But I'm like vaping. I was like, there's no secondhand vape. And I was like, you're gonna tell me I can be 5 steps that way and be okay? No, I'm gonna do it right here because I don't want to stand in your little designated
Right?
area where I can
Yes.
stand outside. You're gonna
Yeah.
tell me this street in the middle of a city.
Yeah.
You can't smoke right here. That's a very weird thing. But 5 steps over, like the wind is still 5. So yes. So somehow she looked at that and was like, that guy.
He's a rebel.
Yeah. Yeah. Or when the professor would say, don't eat in class, I'm like, you thought. She'll bring it up now. She's like, you don't listen to any rules. I'm like, you knew that. Like you looked at me.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
used to get in trouble with my professors
that
all
guy's
the
not
time.
listening to rules.
I actually had a professor like hold me after class and call me out on she's
That was my
she's
wet
like,
dream.
you make you think you can make your own rules and live by your own rules. It's like that's not how the world works. I'm like,
It is if you make it that way.
I
Yeah.
kind of think it does.
I always wish that a teacher would do that.
Oh yeah, it
And I'm not
happened
the
to
guy
me,
that's
yeah.
gonna say like, hey, I pay your salary, but I'm gonna be like, look,
Sure.
you're here doing your job.
Yeah.
I'm here voluntarily to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
So if I want
It was
to do
over.
this,
It was over an assignment, and I'm like, did the assignment get done? Yes, it did. It's like, like
so what were the details? What happened? I want to
so.
hear.
It was another. I think it was another psych class. But the one rule you had to interview somebody, but the one rule was you can't interview someone you know. Yep. There you go.
There's just one.
There, yeah. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. Why would I waste my time, interviewing a stranger? It's like, I don't care to hear anything they have to say. Like,
So how did she know it was someone you knew?
Because I told her. Like, she wrote down, how do you know this person? Like, so I wrote down, a friend. So
If it's supposed to be someone you don't know, what do you fill in that space? How do you know this person? I don't. It's the whole side. Like, I don't.
exactly, yeah. Like, who was this person or whatever,
Oh.
like that, whatever. And I'm like, your rules are stupid, as a friend. And so she called me out on it. She's like, this was not the assignment. And I'm like, I don't care.
Well, grade me
It's
on
like,
that then. That's
right?
that's what it is.
Sure, knock off points for interviewing a friend.
My sister had
So.
an assignment that this is somewhat political. I can't remember what it was on, whether it be gay rights, abortion, something along those lines. And this teacher wanted everyone to write an essay about it,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't say you have to take my standpoint, but that was basically the consensus. Like they wanted to hear their standpoint, and most of the class were. I forget.
Oh, so she wanted to pick out the troublemakers then, huh?
I don't know,
Weed 'em out.
but I think everyone but her wrote it from the supporting side, and she
Ah.
wrote everything against it, and the teacher
Sure.
talked to her about it, and she's like, these are my feelings. You didn't say in the assignment to like defend this side. You said write about this topic, and I
Uh-huh.
did.
Sure.
And yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just weird that teachers. That noise is definitely picking up. I have no idea what she's doing up there.
Sounds like tap dancing.
It's either that she's sharpening a knife to kill me, or she's cooking me food. Let's go
there
for
you
the
go.
second.
Let's hope so. Yeah, no, I see that all the time on, dating apps. They ask you for the latest and greatest, cause. And like, do you want to add this, to your profile and show that you, support this thing? And it's like, no, I'm not on here for, pushing a cause. Like, I'm trying to
Right.
find, a partner.
Well, and that feels
So.
weird too, because
Yeah.
if you're pushing a cause in there, it doesn't feel like that's not the right place.
Yeah, I'm not there to virtue signal.
It's very
You know?
strange.
Yeah.
And how many of those people are just using it to meet someone else? Because I know dating apps are full of people that just want to meet that person
Well,
or to hook up with that person. So they'll do and say they'll mold themselves into
Sure,
whatever is going to
exactly.
get the likes.
it's a nightmare. It's a hellscape.
I've heard.
I mean, yeah, it's awful. But I know a lot of girls will create a profile just to confirm to themselves that they're still attractive. Like, they're not
Really?
really looking for anything. They just want the attention to confirm that yes, I'm still.
It's got to be
still
so
attractive.
hard for someone who's like looking to make the connection.
Sure. Yeah, it is.
And this person's just
Yep.
using it for something else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See it more often than not. The only thing in their profile is, my Instagram, link, whatever, trying to get, followers, all this kind of stuff. Like, they're not on there for, to find a relationship.
It's weird.
And it's like, why do I have to, scroll past your account? Like, you just wasted my time. It's
Right.
like, you're not on here for the same thing that I'm here for.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh. Oh,
No, do not put her in here. No, we have too many wires that she could trip on.
oh no.
All right, close the door. That's it. All right, we have a cat now. That was very unprofessional of our podcast
I know.
right there.
Look at that.
Anyway, for the dating apps, I totally lost my train of thought there talking about a cat. I had to
Right?
switch into responsible mode there. I do like that. I know when Tinder came out, it was like the first thing, right? They marketed it as a dating app. Tinder was like the first, quick swipe.
Right.
And then that became more of a hookup thing. So other apps came out. But I've heard from other friends that are on these other apps that are for dating, just serious relationship dating. And people are wasting time or just looking for hookups. And it's like,
Exactly.
you need to know.
There's an app for that. Go
Yeah.
there.
Go
like-
to the one they've marketed.
Exactly.
For that. It's very
Like,
strange.
Yeah. You're making this harder. So,
Yeah. Or the people that I've heard that are on there they're like, I just want to make friends. It's
Yeah.
like there's
It's like,
there's
go
Facebook
do
for that.
something else. We're
Yeah.
here for a reason.
yeah,
Like,
we
we're
want,
literally trying to find someone,
yeah.
and you're over here messing it up. So, yeah.
And then
Yep.
you have the catfishes and everything. It's very
Mhm.
strange. There's
Right.
and now that dating like that is that in COVID it's very hard. I've heard to
Oh,
meet
yes.
anyone in person.
It really is. Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, because now, like, like before COVID, it was difficult because, the whole sentiment of, of men and predatory behavior and all that kind of stuff, and the Me Too movement was on the rise, and it's like, so, any type of like contact, like immediately the thought would go there, like,
Oh, you mean in person contact?
yes, exactly. And it's like, whoa, that is not my intention at all. I'm just trying to say hi.
Yeah.
So you couldn't, like, you had to stop saying hi. I mean, because like,
and
you
I
immediately go to like, which, I mean, admittedly, I've always found weird. Like, I don't get it. Like, it feels very, very superficial to me, to just say hi to a girl,
to a stranger
on the street. Yeah, and just on random, like and I know that the only reason I'm talking to you right now is because I find you physically attractive, because
Yes.
I know nothing about
exactly. And I was gonna
So-
go from their point of view, and even before Me Too or anything else, I mean, it's very dangerous, primarily for women, to talk to a stranger. If a stranger comes up and says hi, they could seem nice and set up a
Yeah.
date, but it is very I don't know if there's a lot, but I will say it just in general terms. There's a lot of guys that are very bad. They're not.
Yes, right.
They do not have good intentions
Right.
for you,
Yeah.
and it is very dangerous for
Right.
a woman to do anything with a total stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Internet not changing that. I mean, it's
Oh yeah. Yeah.
got to be for a man, especially someone like you. I mean, you're not worried about being kidnapped or something. I mean, you could take care of yourself.
Sure.
But it's got to be very scary for someone who's, I don't know, my sister's a very skinny, very small girl, and it's like if you meet a stranger, I can't even imagine the thoughts you have.
Yeah.
I mean, some people probably don't
Oh,
have
yeah,
those thoughts,
yeah.
but it's very dangerous
Yeah.
to meet someone, and they could have all the good
Mhm.
intentions. So
Yeah. And they can't recognize danger either, which is very frustrating, because I was with a group of friends in Italy, and
oh
so it's the setup for Taken. I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. They meet someone local, seems like
Oh.
a nice guy.
Are you talking about the ones that are telling their hotel room or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But this is what happened. This actually happened to me. So in our group, all right. So we have like places that we're staying in Italy, all right. So the girls have a house here, and the guys are all the way on the other side of the city, except for myself and one other guy who were across the street from the girls, in a loft, because they only had room for 2 people there. So we're right next to the girls. All the rest of the group, the guys, other side of town. Girls here by themselves. Anyway, so earlier that day, they meet a local person, really nice. They're hanging out. He's chatting, whatever. Seems really nice, and he's just following us around in the group. And I don't like. I think my buddy and I were back at the house. We're making dinner, so hanging out or something like that. And then the group of girls come walking up, and this guy's with them. And they're like, yeah, this is where we're staying, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, what are you doing? It's like, we don't know this guy.
and you've told them that you're 100% alone,
Right.
and that you're not from this country.
Exactly. Yep. So.
And he could have been totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Could
He
have
could have
been.
been. Yes.
Could
he
have been.
could
But you
have
have
been,
no idea.
But he
is the
also
thing.
couldn't have been.
Yes.
It's like, you have to think about that.
That is dangerous for not only women.
My
but
buddy
men.
and I had to stay up all night, on guard duty, basically.
To make sure no one showed up.
Just to make sure no one showed up. Yeah.
See, that adds a whole other thing, because you're in another country. That could be dangerous for not only women but men.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone.
Right.
You could get robbed easily. You're in a foreign country.
Sure.
It's very dangerous.
Yep.
I mean, I've had the same group of friends forever. I bring in people that are only highly recommended by, like, they're already friends with someone else, because
Mhm.
just the trust. Like, how do you know what they want? It's weird at an age that we're at to make a new friend, because it's like, if
Right.
you meet randomly, it's like, what are your intentions?
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
are you using me for something I have?
Mhm.
Or, I mean, it's very strange.
Right.
Hello, Kat. All right, well, we're at our hour mark. Do you want to hit another topic, or do you
All
want
right. I think this would take a long time to get into it, but I just want to hit on it, and I want to talk about it, later in the future.
Yeah, let's
I
hear it.
just want to, acknowledge, the passing of Norm Macdonald, and because that's really been pretty sad for me. And I just want to say, praying for his family, and I've been really into, going back through and rewatching all this stuff, like even before this happened, like over the last, year or two, like since COVID, and watching a lot of YouTube. So
I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Or of him.
Oh yeah.
I just Googled him.
Oh.
So comedian?
Yeah. I mean, phenomenal guy. Like he's kind of hit or miss as far as like the reception, just because of his style.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes him forever to tell a joke, and you're not even sure if it was a joke or not. Like it's one of those. Like it's
Yes.
like, so if you get it, it's hilarious. If you don't, you're like, what? Why do people find this funny? But yeah, he was a phenomenal comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and died of cancer. Nobody knew. Like he's been battling with cancer for like 9 or 10 years, and just was very
Cancer
private about
sucks,
it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't
But
want
anyway,
to.
yeah.
Want to diminish that. I'm glad you said something. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people. I mean, celebrities touch people different. When Paul Walker died, I mean, it
Sure.
hit me. It hit me very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't think that because you never knew them, but
mhm.
celebrities or actors, comedians, whatever, they play a huge role
Yeah.
on your personal growth. I
Right.
mean, they could be a role model.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone has to just look up to family members.
Right.
I mean, you definitely can have role models that you've never met.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I was destroyed from a fictional character dying, because I was so in love with Mandy Moore that when I watched A Walk to Remember,
Mhm.
her character dies in that. I mean, I felt like I actually lost somebody.
well,
So-
that happens at every show. I feel like I watch. It's like the character, and I'm like, I don't even want to continue.
right?
How
There's
can
no point. There's no
Yes.
point to life anymore.
Yeah, that
But anyway, yeah. So, like I said, I just wanted to mention that, and yeah. So,
well, the Zip podcast supports him
right.
and anyone who's hurt with his passing.
All right. Well, with that, we'll
end
wrap it up.
Yeah, you
and-
wrap it up. You do
yeah.
a good job at wrapping it up.
All right. So another Zip podcast in the books. Again, if we said anything that may have offended you, and I bet you I did.
Yeah, we did.
We did talk about
yes.
women. But regardless, if you're offended, we suggest you zip it.
With that, we'll go to our ending. So while we're ending, is there a way? Can we get a button here to mute Mike?
Mute Mike?
Yeah. That would be nice. Like I'm taking a drink. People don't need to hear me like, you know what I mean. I've seen other podcasts. I don't know how hard it would be with our
Sure.
Scarlets.
We need a brain, honestly.
A brain?
Yeah.